Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. You want to know how to drive her wild. You want to know how to make her crave you, not just for a moment, not just for a night, but in that bone deep, unforgettable, I can't stop thinking about it kind of way. Let me tell you something right now. This isn't about your tongue, your hands, your moves, or anything you've seen on a screen. This is about how you make her feel, because when a woman feels deeply desired, not just for her body, but for who she is, that's when everything opens. Now imagine this, she walks into the room not expecting anything. Maybe she's had a long day, she's carrying tension in her shoulders, she's been in her head juggling responsibilities, distracted by everything and everyone. And you see her, you don't just glance, you see her, not as a body, not as a task, not as something to conquer, but as a woman you adore. A woman you want to unravel slowly, with reverence and fire at the same time. You step toward her, and instead of grabbing, you hover. Your energy says everything. Your presence is electric. You look at her like she's the only person on earth, and not because you want something from her, but because you choose to give her your full, undivided attention. You kiss her, not fast, not hungry, not forced, but slow, like every second matters. Like this is a moment she'll remember. Your hand finds her cheek. Your lips barely touch hers, just enough for her breath to catch. That's what she wants, not force, not friction, not formula. She wants to be pulled into that moment with you. She wants to feel you, so you take your time. You explore her like she's a new language. Like her body is a secret map you get to discover with patience and awe. You don't ask for access, you earn it. With trust, with safety, with focus. Every touch is intentional. You graze her skin, trace her hips, follow her breath. And when you get to that sacred place between her thighs, you don't just dive in like it's a chore. You pause, you look at her, you let her feel that you're there, and here's the secret most people miss. It's not about how good you are, it's about how good she feels around you. So yes, when you touch her, do it like she's a universe opening beneath your hands. When your mouth finds her, don't rush, don't assume, don't attack, tease, taste, wait, listen with more than your ears. Hear her breath, notice when her legs tense, notice when her hips shift, stay there, stay soft, stay slow, build the tension, back off just when she thinks she's about to fall, then come back with just enough pressure, just enough rhythm, just enough warmth to make her moan without thinking. You read her, you don't push her toward orgasm, you invite her into it. She's wet not just because of what you're doing, but because of how you're doing it. You made her feel safe. You made her feel worshipped. You made her feel like there was nowhere else you'd rather be. You gave her space to unfold. That's the real turn-on. That's the part that stays with her long after the sheets are cold. It's not about the act, it's about how you make her feel during the act. It's about how her heart pounds when you whisper her name, how she forgets her to-do list when you kiss her inner thigh, how she melts when you say, "Take your time." This is what it means to really please her. It means getting out of your head and into your body, into her body. It means prioritizing connection over climax, being present over being perfect. And when she finally lets go, when her whole body trembles, when her eyes close and her back arches, when she moans your name like a prayer, it's not because you knew what to do. It's because you took the time to know her. That's what makes you unforgettable. Being present is the single most important element in truly satisfying and meaningful intimacy. When you are present, fully grounded in the moment, you shift everything. You are no longer thinking about what comes next, what you should be doing, what you saw in a video, or how you look from the outside. You are not trying to perform. You are not disconnected from your partner. Instead, you are right there with her, for her, and with yourself. Your attention is not divided. It's not drifting toward your insecurities, distractions, or expectations. It is rooted in the now, and that changes how she feels in your presence. When a man is present with a woman in an intimate moment, she can feel it in every cell of her body. There is an energetic shift, subtle but undeniable. She breathes deeper. Her mind begins to quiet. Her body starts to trust. She doesn't feel rushed, judged, or like she's part of someone else's goal. She feels like this moment matters, like she matters, and this is the foundation of all real pleasure. Presence creates the conditions for her to relax into herself. It gives her permission to let go of control, to stop monitoring, to stop analyzing, and to just feel asterisk. When you're present, you notice things. You notice the way her breath changes when you kiss her neck. You notice the tiny gasp she lets out when your fingers trace along her waist. You notice when she pulls you closer, when she softens, when she hesitates. And instead of powering through those moments to reach some climax, you adjust. You respond. You stay in tune with her. That sensitivity isn't weakness. It's not hesitation. It's mastery. Presence turns you into a man who listens with his body, not just his ears. And that is rare. That is unforgettable. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking sex is about doing things asterisk to asterisk her, about being good enough, strong enough, skilled enough, but that mindset pulls you out of the moment. It puts you in your head. It turns intimacy into a checklist. Being present dissolves that ego-driven pattern. It's no longer about proving anything. It becomes about sharing something real, sharing sensation, emotion, breath, energy. You move with her, not against her. You follow her rhythm, not some imaginary one you've created in your mind. The truth is, you can't fake presence. You can fake confidence. You can fake enthusiasm. You can fake a lot of things, but presence is either there or it's not. She knows when your mind is elsewhere. She knows when you're trying too hard. She knows when you're not really asterisk with asterisk her, and that makes her pull away even if she doesn't say it. But when you asterisk are asterisk present, she leans in, not just physically, but emotionally. She trusts you more. She wants more. She feels like her body is being seen, not just touched. Presence also changes how you experience pleasure. When you're focused on the now, you feel more. The softness of her skin, the texture of her lips, the warmth of her breath, it all becomes richer. You're not racing to orgasm. You're immersed in every step, every sound, every sigh. And ironically, that depth of experience often leads to better physical outcomes too. But that's not the point. The point is that your full presence asterisk is asterisk the turn on. That's what creates chemistry. That's what makes her crave you. Not because of what you did, but because of how she felt with you. Distractions kill desire. Internal pressure kills desire. When you're thinking about how well you're doing, you're not feeling anything. You're disconnected. You're faking it. You're not touching her with your whole self. But when you slow down and drop into the moment, you create space. Space for something real to happen. Space for her to feel like she's not just the object of your attention, but the center of your world in that moment. Being present requires that you let go of needing to control the outcome, that you trust yourself enough to just be there, moment by moment, sensation by sensation. It's not about technique, it's about attention. Pure, focused, attuned attention. That's where real intimacy lives. Confidence through curiosity is one of the most powerful dynamics you can bring into any intimate experience. Real confidence doesn't come from having all the answers or assuming you're naturally skilled. It comes from the willingness to ask, to learn, and to explore without shame or fear. Curiosity is not weakness, it's power. When you approach a partner with genuine interest in who they are, what they feel, and what they want, you're showing up with grounded confidence that communicates safety, respect, and presence. You're saying, I don't have to know everything. I'm here to discover you. A lot of people think confidence means being dominant, being in control, or acting like they've done this 100 times before. But that's just performance. Real confidence is calm, it's steady, it listens. It adapts, it doesn't need to impress because it's focused on connection. And the only way to create connection is to get curious. Ask her what she likes. Ask her what turns her on. Ask her how she likes to be touched, kissed, held, adored. And not with insecurity, but with intention, with a steady gaze and an open heart. You're not asking because you doubt yourself. You're asking because you value her experience. When you bring curiosity into intimacy, you become a student of her body, her breath, her sounds, her energy. You're not assuming she's like the last person you were with. You're not relying on old patterns. You're responding to her asterisk. You're learning how her body reacts, what makes her sigh, what makes her tense, what makes her arch, what makes her smile in that quiet, relaxed, uninhibited way that says she feels safe enough to let go. That is where confidence lies, in your ability to pay attention and shift based on what you find. Curiosity allows you to stay present, to be flexible, to grow. It makes the experience alive instead of scripted. When you stop trying to perform and start exploring, the entire dynamic changes. Suddenly, she's not just lying there waiting for something to happen. She's engaged with you. She's co-creating something. She feels your openness. She senses your focus. She knows that you're not rushing, not proving, not following some formula. You're learning her, and that makes her want to open up more. It creates a feedback loop. The more curious you are, the more relaxed she becomes. The more relaxed she becomes, the more she shares. The more she shares, the more confident you become in how to please her. This kind of confidence isn't loud. It doesn't need validation. It's not based on being the best. It's based on being present and tuned in. When you ask questions with curiosity, you also give her permission to speak honestly. You're saying, your voice matters here. You're saying, this is about your pleasure as much as mine. You're saying, tell me what you love so I can give you more of it. And that is wildly attractive. That kind of respect is erotic. That kind of attention makes her body feel held, makes her desire feel honored. Most people don't communicate in bed. They assume, they guess, they fake. And all of that leads to disconnection. But when you have the confidence to ask, even in subtle ways like pausing and saying, do you like this? Or want it slower, you bring her into the moment with you. You keep the experience alive. You prevent her from drifting into her head or disconnecting. You make her feel involved, empowered, and fully desired. Confidence through curiosity also helps you release performance anxiety. When you're focused on learning her, you're not worried about how well you're doing. You're focused on her responses. You become guided by her rather than by your own internal pressure. That reduces tension, that builds rhythm, that creates a kind of flow state where everything you do becomes more intuitive, more fluid, more pleasurable for both of you. There's also humility in this approach, and that humility is incredibly attractive. Not the insecure kind, but the kind that says, I don't need to dominate this moment. I want to discover it with you. It creates a dynamic where both people feel safe to speak up, to ask for more, to change direction, to explore new sensations without fear of judgment. And that makes the experience richer, deeper, more connected than any memorized technique ever could. Curiosity means noticing. It means asking with your hands, with your breath, with your attention. It means tuning into subtle shifts, paying attention to how she responds, and making small changes based on her body's signals. It's the opposite of ego. It's the opposite of assumption. It's real-time discovery. It's what separates mechanical sex from magnetic intimacy. And when you master that, everything else becomes easier, more organic, more passionate, and more satisfying for both of you. Slowing down is the most underrated and most powerful shift you can make in how you connect with her. In a world where everything moves fast, scrolling, clicking, rushing through conversations, multitasking, slowing down becomes an act of rebellion. It tells her, without saying a word, that this moment matters, that she matters, that you're not here for the end result, but for the process, the experience, the intimacy. And that's exactly what creates real sexual chemistry. When you slow down, you give her nervous system time to settle, you give her body time to catch up to her mind, and you give her mind time to trust that she can relax. That space you create by moving slowly is where desire builds. It's where anticipation starts to burn. It's where tension becomes delicious instead of overwhelming. Most people are in a hurry when it comes to sex. They touch too quickly, kiss too forcefully, undress too soon. They're already thinking about the next move, already reaching for the climax, already skipping past everything that actually creates the climax. But the truth is, women's bodies are not built to sprint toward arousal. They're designed to bloom. Her arousal is like a fire. It doesn't just flare up the second you strike the match. It builds with warmth, with time, with steady heat that grows in layers. When you slow down, you give that fire room to catch. You give her sensations time to deepen. You turn the act into a journey rather than a destination. Every kiss becomes more charged when you don't rush it, when your lips hover over hers before you make contact. when your hand rests on her hip without pulling, when your breath touches her neck before your mouth does. All those micro moments, those seconds of restraint, build something far more powerful than any single movement could. When you slow down, you create suspense, and suspense is erotic. It draws her in, it activates her imagination, it makes her want more, because you're not giving everything away at once, you're letting it unfold layer by layer. When you slow your touch, you feel more. You become more aware of her temperature, her texture, the way her skin responds under your fingers. You notice when she breathes differently, when she tilts her head, when her legs shift. You're not missing those signs because you're not rushing past them. You're right there, moment by moment, and that gives her space to drop into her body, to stop thinking about how she looks, or what she should be doing, or whether she's taking too long. She feels like she can just be asterisk, and that is what allows her to let go fully. Slowness doesn't mean hesitation. It doesn't mean lack of desire. It means control. It means presence. It means choosing to savor instead of consume. When you slow down, you also slow your own thoughts. You stop performing. You stop chasing. You start feeling. You notice the way her thighs part just slightly, the way her breath catches when your lips are close, the way she arches when your tongue finds the right rhythm. And you stay there. You don't speed up just because you can. You stay at that pace because that's where the magic is. Slowing down invites her to take up space. It tells her she doesn't have to rush to keep up with you. She doesn't have to fake anything. She doesn't have to get to some finish line to validate your ego. She can just follow her body, her own pace, her own rhythm, and that rhythm is different every time. Some days it's fast and wild. Some days it's slow and melting, but she can't find her rhythm if you're steamrolling over the moment with urgency. When you slow down, you also build trust. Trust that you're not there for a quick release. Trust that you care about how she feels. Trust that you'll wait, that you'll listen, that you'll keep showing up even when things take time. And trust is what opens her, not just physically, but emotionally. That's when she starts telling you what she likes. That's when she lets herself be louder, messier, freer. That's when she stops performing and starts experiencing. Because your slowness told her it was safe to do so. The paradox is that when you move slowly, you often end up creating far more intense pleasure because you're building anticipation. You're giving her body time to respond. You're allowing arousal to accumulate. And that accumulation makes everything more powerful. Every kiss, every breath, every moan, it all lands deeper. You're not chasing pleasure. You're cultivating it. You're tending to it. You're letting it build naturally instead of forcing it into some rigid, pre-decided shape. Slowness also allows for spontaneity. When you're not rushing, you can pivot. You can shift based on her responses. You can pause if something needs attention. You're not locked into a script. You're co-creating an experience, and the space you create with that pace allows both of you to bring more honesty, more creativity, and more connection into what's happening.